want to say hello to Richard, Dolapo, Mbotidem, Keskat, Shola, Anajayi, and I hope we'll have many more coming later. Today, we're going to discuss about safety on the internet. Studies have shown that children spend averagely 5 to 7 hours of screen time, including time spent on homework and research. This makes them a soft target for fraudsters, peer pressure, and threat actors that are abundant on the internet. So today we're going to look at how we can protect ourselves online, and we're going to look at child protection policies that are available. We're going to know what is an appropriate screen time for people, and we're going to learn more. I have with me here today two very beautiful ladies, Nels and Tolu. They are cybersecurity experts. They have spent years protecting their organization from them. And for you, the students and the children are online, we want to encourage you to spend more time listening. If you have questions, please write them down. At the end of the discussion, we're going to take time out to take a quiz. This quiz is by Panda Security, but I think it's very, very good because I tried it on my kids and they really got interested and realized what it's like to be safe online. So I want us to go ahead immediately and start up by welcoming our panelists. Nels, Tolu.
Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. I know this is the second time, and I think based on the feedback from the first time and all the inputs, that was very helpful. So thank you. Looking forward to more sessions as demand. So really enjoyed the time. Thank you, Ame. Thank you, Niles. Thank you, everyone.
So I do want to add something right quick to that before Ms. Udobon carries on. Yes, like she said, please drop your questions in the comment room so that as we go on, we can look at them and answer them as we go. If you feel shy, it's okay to go ahead and do that as well.
Okay, so let us start immediately. Tolu, you're getting the first question. What are the differences between virus, worms, hardware, spywares, and Trojans, and how can we avoid them?
Okay, that is a very good question. So if you look at those that you mentioned, virus, Trojan horses, worms, adware, and spywares, these are ways that an attacker or a malicious actor will try to get to you. So they're all different ways. And if you really look at them, it's just a computer script that was written to do a particular purpose. And virus, just like we know COVID virus or other viruses out there, the main purpose is to really look at your computer and say, how can I attack your computer to get to your sensitive information, to really get to impact what you do. And it might be targeting information on your computer or targeting information that you have in other cloud applications or other applications you use, maybe your bank account. They might try to get access to credentials that you have, and by getting access to those credentials, might be able to go back into your bank account and get access to your information there or your money and be able to transfer your money out. Now, when you look at Trojan horses is really, I think the story about the Trojan horses, it was a gift given to between, I think, entities, and they gave them a horse. Well, inside the horse, they had people hiding inside the horse to do other malicious activity. So basically, when you see Trojan horses, it's really sort of like a gift or something like a good product, but behind that product, there is a malicious intent. And so being cautious of what you accept, where you click on, or what application you download is really crucial, because you can download an application that says, oh, the purpose of this application is to help you determine the speed of your internet, that you have the right internet speed. But when you get into that application, you discover that the goal is actually different. Yes, you get whatever they promised, but then there is something else behind the scene, and that is to steal your information, to get access to your sensitive data, to access your network. And even in an organization, if you access on your organization's computer, which I know you guys don't have, but if you use your parents' computer and your parents' computer are used at work, you can actually expose your parents' workplace, and on them can really harm your system. They can really take a hold of your organization. In a bigger organization, clicking on them can lead to ransomware. And when you look at ransomware, where that comes in is all your, just like we know, people are taking a ransom and a amount is demanded before they can release. So can you imagine if you cannot access your computer until you pay somebody else? And if it's you, maybe that's fine. You might say, okay, I'll just restart the whole computer, or reset your computer, or reinstall whatever. But in an organization, that becomes challenging, because now it's all their operations go to a halt because of that.
Okay, thank you, Tolu. Niles, this question is for you. What does a phishing email look like, and what can I do if I have mistakenly responded to one? Hello,
Okay.
Niles?
Yes. Thank you so much for that question. The question again is, what does a phishing email look like, and what can I do if I have mistakenly responded to one? Great question. First of all, I want to acknowledge all the things that Ms. Davi has stated around what viruses are and worms are, and all of those things. She's so very right. You know, all of those things are put in place. Those are codes that are put in place to try to trick you as a human to do something you don't want to do, so that they can get and steal information from you. And like she said, they can take sensitive information from yourself. Phishing is no different than, it's different in the way it is delivered to you, but it is essentially a way that criminals online can get sensitive information from you. For instance, we can say a username. Okay, that is a sensitive information. Password as sensitive information. If somebody sends you an email, as a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna share something with you right quick. I'm gonna share something. Oh, can you enable screen sharing for me, please, Ms. Udova? So while she's doing that, typically, you know, what happens is that phishing is typically done through email. So what you would do is that you will get an email, and this email appears to come from like a bank or some kind of service provider, someone that you will typically get an email from, right? It could be your school, it could be your bank, it could be a place where you volunteer, it could be a lot of different places where you expect to get an email from, okay? And that email immediately would say, yes, there's some change in the system, and that you, Mr. Richard or Boridem, needs to do something, like put in your password or put in your username so that you can confirm them. You know, basically a phishing attack plays at the human weakness, right? If you have a bank account and you get an email saying, hey, something has happened to your bank account. Did you make this transaction? Can you log in immediately and check and see if this is your transaction? Immediately, you're going to say, well, I know I only have 100,000 Naira in my account. Immediately, you're going to click on the link. Immediately, you're going to try to log in. And what's going to happen is going to be, it could be a phishing attack. I don't know. I'm going to try to share my screen again. Okay, I can share now. So I'm going to share PowerPoint. Let me know when you're able to see that PowerPoint presentation. Do you see it?
It's starting. Yes, I can.
Okay. So I often speak to people about trends in cybersecurity, and phishing attacks are definitely one of them. So
Okay.
when she
Can
thought,
you
when
maximize
Mrs.
that screen again? Okay, Siphon is saying he can see it, but it's kind of hidden behind something. Richard, can you see the screen?
No, I can't. So I'm not Richard, but no, I can. I think Siphon could see it before, but probably not now. So
Okay.
now you might want to reshare again.
Okay, I'll do that.
So it should, yeah, now
okay,
we can.
now we can see it.
All right, it says trend in cybersecurity phishing attacks.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So great, guys. This is a quick way to show you what I was talking about. Look on the left-hand side of this window. It says, hi, Kathy. Your visa. This could be hi, Mbaridim. Hi, Niles. Hi, Mrs. Ame. Your Visa credit card has been deactivated due to suspicious activity. Please visit this link, it's in green, to reset your password, enable your card, and avoid fees. Sincerely, the Visa team. Now, we all use different kinds of, Visa cards in Nigeria, or, a little plastic card. I forget what they call in Nigeria, but is it Visa cards too, Miss Ame?
MasterCard. We have Visa as well.
Okay, yeah, so they know what I'm talking about. Great. So immediately you look at that email, you can see it says, hi, you. It knows who you are. It knows your name, so you know it's directly talking to you. It says, your Visa credit card. The Visa, immediately, you can see that it's capitalized. That could be MasterCard. Credit card has been deactivated. Oh my goodness. That's going to be like, well, if it has been deactivated, that means I cannot use it when I go to the store, to Kmart or any store to buy something. And it says due to suspicious activity. And you already know that you can get attacked. So right now you have all your emotions going up inside of you, welling up, saying, what has happened? And it says, please visit www.visa-deactivate.info, and that's it. All right. I want to ask the room a question. What is wrong with that link right there?
Okay.
Can anybody guess what's wrong with that link?
Well, what I think is wrong with that link is because that if it was actually sent by a organization, it would have been written that good morning, and it wouldn't be that friendly. And also the link should have had .government or .org or something that signifies a organization.
Perfect. You got it. Exactly. Those are some of the things that immediately you, as the human that they have sent this email to, you need to be on alert, right? First of all, look at that link. It says Visa. Okay. Well, that sounds nice, but look at the deactivate. The next, it's highlighted in green, but look, it's saying deactivate. Have you guys ever heard of a word called deactivate?
Yeah.
No, that word, clearly that word has been misspelled there. And oftentimes that's one of the things about phishing emails, is written in a way to kind of confuse you and then immediately react. So if I have a bank, or if I have a .gov account that is sending an email to me, I would expect the government to spell check their link. to their websites. And in this case, immediately I'm going to say, look at the Captivate.info, and it's spelled wrong. And immediately what you can do is you can also roll your mouse over that link. If you roll your mouse over that link, you're going to get a bunch of details about what's actually behind that link. You can find out that it's actually not going to visa.gov. You can find that it's not actually going to deactivate link. You'll find a lot of other information that that will basically alert you about the typos. Is it real? Is it a phishing email? Why does it look unprofessional? What is the intent of this email? And basically it will stop you. Okay, let's say it doesn't stop you and you mistakenly click on it. What's going to happen? If you click on it, it's going to take you to a website. Talking about phishing here, takes you to a website, and it's going to look exactly like your MasterCard website. And what you're going to do is you're going to put in your username, you're going to put in your password, and you're going to put login. And when you do that, what you're going to see is not going to be your account like you will typically see. What you're going to see is another page telling you to re-enter that information. And in that moment, what has happened is that a perpetrator has, from that first initial login, has captured your username and has captured your password. And what you're going to say is, oh, I thought I already put in my username and password. That's kind of weird. And you're going to just go ahead and retype it again. And then you're going to go log in and you're going to look for suspicious activity. And you're not going to see one. You're going to be like, oh, I don't know what that was about. I made that transaction at Rite Aid the other day. I went to the supermarket. You're going to ignore it. That's the problem, because now from that first initial hit where you put in your password and your username, they've already gotten your account. And basically they're going to go and lay silently for a while, because they're not going to suspect that they're not going to do anything to alert you. So they're going to lay aside for a while, and then they're going to come back at some other time when you're not thinking and start to log into your account and transfer money out of your account. They can do it in a lump sum or by $1 at a time over a period of time. So it looks like an anomaly, all right? So this happens very often. And so what I would encourage you to do is, first of all, look at the color, look at the spelling. Does it look professional? You know, if my bank misspelled your website link, then I know that I can question them. And so if you, and then step back, call someone else to look at it, roll your mouse over it, look at that link. What does it really redirect you to? Is it gonna go to your actual bank online, or is it gonna go to some other link? And so definitely what I wanted to share with you is that if that happens and you actually enter in your information, there's a way you can fix that. At least try to fix that. You get that first page, you log in, that page disappears. It asks you to log in again, then you will know you've hit an attack. What you need to do is log in, change your password immediately, okay? Because that person that captured the first time already, you know, if you change it immediately, they cannot come and try to log into that website again. So I hope that has answered you guys' questions around what is a phishing attack and how can you respond if you've already clicked on the link. On the right hand side, it has the top email general subject that you can be triggered on. Password check required email, you may get it. That's 43% of phishing attacks is password check. Delivery attempt was made. I'm gonna deactivate your email. Don't click on this link. All of these are examples, and I can share with you guys later on if that's required.
Okay, now that was great. Tolu, I'll come back to you now. Can you please tell us tools and secure practices that can help us protect ourselves online, also protect our data and our computers?
Okay.
Can I tell you? Okay, go ahead. I'll mute myself. Go ahead, Miss Amy.
Okay, so I think that's a good question. And going off of where now stop there, that whenever your credentials are stolen or whenever you've entered your credentials into a fake website that a phishing attack presented to you, the first thing you want to do after you've known that you've been a target is to really go change your password in your main application. Now, the challenge there becomes if you use that same password across different applications. So maybe you're not just using it for that Visa, maybe you're using it for your phone service, you're using it for other bank accounts you have, you're using it to access your parents' computer, other things. So what happens is just changing it in one place would not help. So safe practices around passwords. You don't want to use the same password for different applications. You want to use different passwords. Then you ask me a question here. I think this is a good time to say, how am I going to remember all those passwords that I have to enter into different applications? Maybe you have 20. You're looking at your online schoolwork, you're looking at your bank account, you're looking at your, if your parents have like investment for you and you have access to it, you're looking at different things that you log into online. And you'll be like, okay, how can I remember all these passwords? Now, there are applications that you can use to really save your password. Personally, I use Keepers, and in Keepers, I save all my passwords. And it gives me complicated passwords. So that way, sometimes I can't even remember it until I go into the application to really take the password out. And so what that does is it helps you to have unique password across all your applications. And it keeps you safe from a password perspective. And then when you think of password, what is a good password to use? I think you can look at it from, if you use, your name, say, and I'm just going to take someone's name, Adesoji 123 or Adesoji 2020. That's going to be easy for somebody to guess. And because they know you are Adesoji, and they know that you probably have, by the time they try Adesoji 2020, 2021, 2027, and they also have a tool that they can actually run against your password to try different passwords on your account. So it's going to be easy for them to guess. So you want a complicated password. You want a long password that is not just small letters, but you really want small letters, capital letters, special characters like asterisk, hashtags, question mark. You want numbers involved as well. And you also want to make sure that it's something that it's not someone else's password that you know, so that you and someone are not sharing the same password. So that way it's unique to you. In addition to that, some of the things you can do to stay safe online, especially around access to your critical information, because seriously, why do you want to be safe online? Really, why? Can someone tell me why is it important to be safe online? And you can
can you answer that?
Yes, ma'am. So you don't like expose yourself or your family. It depends on who owns the computer.
Exactly. That's a good one. Yeah. You don't want to expose your family's information, because on your computer, your family's computer, there are sensitive information about your family there. You don't want to expose that. You don't want somebody to hijack your network. You don't want somebody to do that. So there are literally a lot of things. And also cyberbullying too. You don't want a bad person to get access to your account and start bullying your parents or bullying you, saying, okay, now I have access to your account, give me this money, or I have access to this information and I can use it against you.
Okay,
you don't
now, sorry. Talking about a strong password, what should be the proper length of a password, or should I say a passphrase? How can I create a strong password?
Great question. I think that's one of the things that Ms. Tolu was just saying, that, your password should be long. I have a few general things that I say about how to create password that I just want to add to what Ms. Tolu said. Strong password should be at least 16 characters long. If your password it's 5 words long, I can crack it while I'm sleeping. Do you hear me? If your password is the name of your sister, then I don't have to crack it because I already know all your sisters because you tag them on your Instagram post. If your password is your date of birth, well, guess what? I already know it because when you created a Facebook account or a TikTok account, you put in your date of birth. I already know that. So you want to follow certain particular rules around getting your a better password. Make it strong, at least 16 characters. Make me work for your password as an attacker. You know, if I'm a attacker, make me work harder because the longer it is, the longer it's going to take me to attack. And for me, it would be like, well, his password is too long. I'm going to get too tired. Let me move on to the next person. All right. Don't use pet names. Don't use your family names. Don't use your date of birth, personal information, and never recycle your password. Okay. If you use meat pie today and tomorrow or in a year from now, don't reuse MidPie. And if you use MidPie, I could put a dictionary against your password and it's called a dictionary attack, whereby if I'm trying to crack a password, I can just run a dictionary attack tool that would say, well, if your password is any word in a dictionary, I got you. Change your password frequently. I'd say 10 weeks to 90 days. And don't use the same password across different applications, because let's say you use one password on TikTok or Instagram, and Instagram has a backdoor or vulnerability or a hole that allows me to get in. Okay, if I get into TikTok as an attacker, all I have to do is pivot to any other application, and I already know the same password because you use the exact same password. So stay away from using the same password from for all of your applications and your website. And like Miss Aimee brought up, it's going to be a lot to be able to remember all of that. So consider using a password manager. Okay, we can share some samples of that. I think she shared some samples with you already. But do that, and then also don't let Chrome or Firefox or Safari or Opera, don't let any of those applications save your password for you. Because if you do, all I would have to do if I'm an attacker is get your details from your website, from Google, from your browser, and then I have access to all of your accounts without you knowing. Okay, so use things like phrases. That's a story. It could be like, for me, it may be something like, I don't know, I want to go to the restroom, and then change the letters and numbers, and and put underscore in between them. Use capital letters, use numbers, use symbols, and just make sure that you try to create a custom complex password as you can. Another thing I want to highlight is that there's something called shoulder surfing, where I can just walk by you and see how you're entering your password, and I can steal the password. So if I do that and I'm walking over you when you're entering your password, I can take your information and walk away. Don't tell anyone your password. Now you may have to tell your parents. Those are rules. So password protect your stuff. Tell your parents, follow the protocols. Put password on your phone, your tablets, your computer. Use a password manager like LastPass and 1Password, all those things.
Okay, thank you, Nels. Tolu, please tell us, can companies and marketers collect data from children? Because most times children are online and they are browsing several sites and people are asking them to register for something. Can companies and marketers collect data for children? And is there any online protection regulation that determines what is collected and what that data can be used for?
That's a good question. And I think there's a lot of conversation around that right now in the industry, evolving that area to say, okay, what is appropriate for organizations to collect from minors? So children are considered minors. The understanding there is you're under your parent, and because you're under your parent, you're under a particular age, you're still a minor. Now, what organizations can collect are obviously restricted. And that's why a lot of times organizations will ask, what is your age? And if you say you're at a particular age, they will tell you that you cannot sign up for their service because you're considered a minor. And in that instance, you will see kids actually lie about their age because there's no way to verify. And at that point in time, you put yourself at risk. The best way will be to, if you really need access to that account, to go through your parents. And then your parents can sign up and you can be able to, it's your parents' information, it's not your information that is out there. And because of that, it's easier for you to be protected. Because in the real sense of it, you want to protect your identity. You want to protect who you are. And the reason why you want to protect who you are is because if you are exposed, you now expose yourself to bullying. You've exposed some of your data to people, and that information can be used against you in the future, which you do not want that to be, because you still have a whole your life ahead of you. You will go to college, you get a career, and if people already have bad data about you, they can use it against you. So you want to really protect all that by not getting out there. And the challenging thing is, at a younger age, the possibility of putting things out there that can actually be used against you later in life is really high, because you're still young, you're still enjoying life. But if you're older, and maybe at 18, you know better of what to put it there. And if you put it there, your online activities, so that you don't get exposed and you don't also expose your parents. Because now your parents have to be careful, and sometimes if your identity gets stolen, your parents will have to redo it. Like in America here, people's identity gets stolen. I'm not sure if it's the same in Nigeria as well, but people's identity can get stolen, and that information can be used to go borrow money in the person's name. So now you hold money.
A lot of kids have been using YouTube. I know there's YouTube Kids, but you find that a lot of them will tell lies, and they want to be on YouTube because they want to have subscribers. They want to earn money, because I have heard of Jojo Siwa. Yes, I think that's her name, and she's really very popular, and kids want to be like her. What would you advise them to do now? Tolu, please, I would like you before I want Naus to answer that, but Tolu, please just give them an advice on how would they go around using social media, especially now that they all want to be, they want to be online. They want people to know them. They want to share their own content.
So that is a good point you brought up. I think it's good to make money, and it's good to be an entrepreneur and think of ways to really do that. The challenge about social media, and especially YouTube, is this. When you put your information out there, when you have a video out there, people are going to make comments. And some of those comments will be good, some of them will be bad, some of them will be horrible, and some of them will be very good. And a lot of times, even adults do not know how to manage people telling them bad things about themselves. So there are going to be scenarios where people's comments might make the YouTube poster really feel bad, and that can lead to depression. So if you're really thinking of really launching out like that, I'll suggest have a counsel, like your parents, like professional counsels, to really help you do it in an appropriate way, such that when there is negative attacks, and that could be that cyberbullying really, but now it happens and nobody says anything about it. You can post a video and your face is like this, and somebody's like, why is your face like a gorilla? That can make you feel so bad. If you have legal counsel to really help you manage that, it's possible that that expression will not lead to depression. But if you don't have proper counsel to help you manage all that, that can actually lead to depression, and in some scenarios lead to people killing themselves, which you don't want. And that is why cyberbullying has to be avoided, but we know you cannot avoid people saying whatever they want to say online, but you can protect yourself from whatever they have to say. And that's why you need help managing all of that.
Okay, now.
So I'll tell your parents to do that. It's really important.
Okay, thank you. Now, do you have anything
Yes.
to add to that?
Yeah, definitely. So I agree with everything that you guys have said. And I just want to take a step back and talk about who we are. So back in the day, before, technology, our privacy, was, what happened when we were in our bedroom, okay? Or we had privacy when we were in our house, or when we go to our uncle's house, when we go to our school. That was our private area. Now our private area has expanded to text messages. Okay, now that's your own room where you can communicate. To social media, that's a room that you can communicate and share things about yourself. To websites, to YouTube. And yes, there are certain regulations that are put in place to protect kids from having access to bad information, things that may hurt them, that may cause them to want to kill themselves, or may share more information about them, or to see things that they're not ready for, right? They have those regulations, but you have to remember that you decide, the ownership relies on you to decide what information about yourself you want to reveal to anyone. You decide what information about yourself you want to reveal to a text, to social media, and or to anybody, why you want to do that, when you want to do that, and whom you want to do that. You also have to remember that the social media tech companies, they empower you to own your own social lifestyle. Like what Ms. Tula just said is that, if you try to open an account or log into some site that may be too old for you, it's easy for you to lie so you can get access to that content. You know what? The tech company will say, well, the child is unruly, the parents cannot rule the child, so therefore they're the one that let the kids lie and go ahead and put in their wrong age. The ownership is going to fall on your parent, that your parents did not know how to control you because you went in and put in the wrong date of birth, and now you have access to all of this bad content. Now, the YouTube Kids that are available out there, it's really hard for tech companies to control that. Here's why. I can create a YouTube video about how to open a toy and how to play with a toy, and I put it online. And I put it on YouTube Kids because I know that AB is going to be on there, and that Adeso G is going to be on there, and Shola is going to be on there, and he's going to want to watch my video because they love this particular toy. And if I'm a hacker and I'm trying to give you nightmares, or I'm trying to make you upset, or if I'm trying to dox you, dox is being able to share information about you that you don't want the world to know, I can find a way to cut in the middle of that video and show a picture of you while you were taking a shower, or show a picture of you that of Mickey Mouse with blood all over them, right? It's just gonna freak you out. Did you know that as a hacker, I can come in and turn on your camera without you knowing? I could be taking pictures of you while you're walking around your new room naked and you don't know about it. Yes. A lot of cameras have that vulnerability, and if I can get that capture, because you have your computer up and your camera is open, and I've installed that vulnerability in your computer, I can take that picture and I put it in the middle of my video. Now you see it. Guess who else is seeing it? Everyone else in the world are seeing it. And what is your parents gonna do? Go and sue YouTube? YouTube is gonna turn around and come and try to find me and sue me? I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It makes it really difficult. And so the ownership, the responsibility lies on you, the child, to follow the protocols your parent put in place for you. And for you to be smart as well, to say, you know what? No, I'm not going to do this because I don't know all the consequences associated with it.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Or questions?
Okay.
Or
There were some questions in the chat room that I think it might be good for us to address. Botidem said, what are the secrets to a safe account? So when you say safe account, are you looking at when you open an account online, having the account safely, having a safe bank account? If that is the question, what I think you want to really look at is how do you access that account? And access to the account is the password. We've talked about that. Then multi-factor authentication, that was something we talked about last time. And Google accessing your email account really provides that information, which is multi-factor authentication. And also having a secondary account linked to your account. So in the case you forget your password and you need to still access your account, if you have a secondary account, which could be your parents' account, your a link can be sent to that other account for you to log in and reset your password. But it's a known account, so it's a known good. Now, also making sure that Ms. Niles talked about shoulder softening, making sure that you're not like you're not allowing people to look at your password when you're entering it. Now, there are instances where you can use a screensaver. If you're always in public places, you can actually have a screensaver on your screen, and that also prevents people from knowing what you're typing and what you're doing there. Now, another question that can, and
talk about the HTTP. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the visa piece when Ms. Niles was sharing the visa piece. And I think to really call out what was wrong in that link was the deactivated, not spelled correctly. So basically when you look at phishing emails, part of what Ms. Niles mentioned is you will see grammatical errors. You will see mistakes. And typically your bank or your Gmail account, they know that phishing emails go out, so they would not reach out to you that way. They would not reach out to you in an email and tell you to log into your account through the email. So the proper way, even if you get an email from them telling you there was suspicious activity, is for you to go through the normal channel you typically go to log in, which is through the browser or through an application on your phone. You don't just want to go through that link. Even if you trust it, it will be better not to do that. And don't also download applications in emails that you don't know who the sender is, especially if you're not expecting it. So be very mindful of that. That's also phishing. And in a bigger organization, there's something called spear phishing. And it's really, phishing is like, you know, when you go fishing for fishes. So when you look at spear phishing, it's not like you're not looking at a lot of fishes, because that email they send to you, they send it to a lot of people. In spear phishing, they're really targeting one person because they know that person has access to a lot of other things that they can access. So if they can get access to that person, get that person's credential, oh man, they already have the world in their hands.
Now, what about the padlock on a website browser? What does that padlock mean? I want you to discuss that.
So when you really look at, okay, so I think that's what you were getting to with the HTTP yes. And HTTPS. Yeah. So with HTTP and HTTPS, HTTPS is a variation of HTTP, but it now has SSL used as encryption. So what happens is when you're communicating, you on your computer, you're communicating with another server, your account, the information that is being transferred between both systems is encrypted using SSL. And what is encryption? What does that really mean? Encryption is really looking at, so let's say this is my phone and I want to transfer it to somewhere else, but I don't want someone to really be able to have access to what I'm transferring there. I don't want someone to be able to see it. Is there a way I can deconstruct this phone or use something to wrap it around or do something to it so that even if you hold it, in transit, if somebody has access to it in transit, they cannot understand what it is. They cannot know it's a phone. So I can break it up and reconstruct it in a different way that doesn't look like a phone. And when it gets to the end point, they already have a code there that is going to be used to reconstruct it to know what it's supposed to be, and then they'll be able to have access to what exactly it is. So encryption is really protecting traffic such that when you have a middleman come in, they don't understand what is being transmitted. And that is what HTTPS gives you. So all your critical accounts should have HTTPS as in the URL, and that way you know that your communication is really protected, so that nobody is going to be able to read your password and your username in plain text. It's all encrypted.
Okay,
and to
now,
add to that,
okay.
and to add to that, you can always look for the padlock when you're accessing a website. And if the padlock is not there, just go ahead and shut the page down and don't use it, right? So always think about the padlock in the URL when you're going to browse a website. And if it doesn't have it, treat lightly, because not only that you're going to get an attack there, from that particular website, someone can use that as a pathway to come and attack you, right? So think about that.
So Dolapo wants to know if an app she's downloading is safe. How does she tell that an app she's downloading is safe?
That's a really good question, because there are several apps out there. And if you want to find out find out if that app is safe or not, it's really a challenge to determine if the app is actually safe or not. You can look and see, you can research online to see if there have been other vulnerabilities associated with that particular app and what that vulnerability was. So there is that you can do. But first, before you even go to that point of searching online to see if it's safe, talk to your parents first. Talk to maybe your auntie, your teachers first. Find out, are they okay with you downloading that app? And then you have to do your own research around that app. As they've been
said, sometimes our school might ask for our emails and passwords. Should we give it to them without worrying?
That's a very, very good question. And there's something called social engineering. But I don't think that's related to what your school is doing. Now, you have to consider the instance where they're asking for it. Sometimes they're asking because they want to do some administrative work. And typically now, that used to be the scenario then, but now they're not supposed to be asking for that. If your school has a really good IT department, the information technology and security department, they should have an admin account on their side to be able to have access to your information. And only a specific set of people should be able to do that. But if at all they ask you for your password, make sure you know why they want to use it, why they're asking. And make sure it's the right person that is asking for it. And after they've asked for it, go ahead and change it. Almost like immediately they say they're done with whatever they're doing, go ahead and change it. So that you're safe in whatever you are doing with that password, because you don't want to just leave it unchanged over time.
Okay, now the last one. Ajayi is asking this. Can a hacker be your closest relative?
Oh, that's a good question. So I think we're really thinking through what an hacker is. So we have different types. I hope you all know. We have the black hat hackers, we have the white hackers, and then we have the gray hackers. We have people that hack for a bad purpose, and what that is they intentionally do this for their own benefit. And then we have the white hackers that really hack, but it's for the benefit of the organization. So what they do is organizations hire them to say, okay, we want you to come and test our systems to be able to determine if a black hacker comes in as well, they can actually get access. So if you, a white hacker, can get in, we need to fix it so that when the black hacker comes, they cannot get in. And then the gray hacker is someone that can probably tilt between both. And it's more gray area there. Now, this So having a close family member of yours being an hacker, they can be anywhere in between there. It's possible for them to be. People do it for hobby. People do it just for pleasure. So it's possible, but it's better to be the good one. And that is the white hacker, because now you're helping your organization, you're helping the world to really identify gaps before the bad hackers do that.
Okay, Tolu, thank you so much. Children, I told you when we started that I'm going to ask you some questions because I want to find out how secure you currently are on the internet. So I would like you to get a pen and a paper and listen to the questions that I need to ask you while we give Tolu and Nal some time. Okay?
Yeah. So I mean, is it okay to drop off now?
Yes, it's okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I just want to say thank you to everyone. I think this conversation is very helpful. It's good to know what you some of the questions you have. And I hope this session, you've also found it very helpful. Feel free to give us feedback on what you think and what you think you want to hear next time. So really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Ms. Ame.
Have you ever posted any personal information of yours or anyone else without explicit consent?
No.
Just write it down.
Answer?
The first question was, does your screen name identify you as a boy or a girl?
No.
Second question, have you ever posted any personal information of yours or anyone else without explicit consent? Okay, third question. Have you ever uploaded your picture or that of your family and friends without your parents' consent? Hello? Okay. Have you ever done that?
No.
Okay. The fifth question. Have you ever purchased anything online without permission?
No.
Just write it down. Have you ever purchased anything online without permission? The sixth question. Have you ever shared your password with someone other than your parents?
No.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I didn't hear question 3 and 4.
Okay, question 3. Have you ever uploaded your picture or that of your family and friends without your parents' consent? Number 4, have you ever filled out an online form, questionnaire, or profile page without your parents' consent? Question 5, have you ever purchased anything online without permission? Question 6, have you ever shared your password with someone other than your parents? Question 7, have you ever downloaded and installed software without your parents' knowledge? Have you ever done that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Question 8, have you opened emails from total strangers?
No.
I would like you to be very sincere.
No.
Have you ever opened emails from total strangers?
Absolutely no.
Question 9.
In the cyber cafe.
Have you ever agreed to meet in person someone you only met online?
No.
Have you ever agreed to meet in person someone you only met online? The last question, have you ever been involved in chat sessions with people using vulgar expressions or obscene languages? Have you ever
Yes.
done that?
Yes, there are a lot of people that insult.
Wow. Is that true, Mbotide?
Yes.
With obscene languages?
Mm.
Okay. So, for all of you, I want us to see how well we've done. Okay. How many of you had yes for 0 to 2 times?
Well, I only had 2 years.
Okay. Others, how many of you had yes? And how many? If you had 0 to 2 years, you are safe. If you had 3 to 4 years, you are at risk. And if you had 5 to 10 years, you are in real danger. So you need to change your online habits. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So I want to thank you all for joining this session. We're still going to have another one again, maybe next month. I want to say thank you to all of you. And please try to stay safe online and be good. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.